Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. Just 1 cent, something so small, so ordinary. Yet hidden within that copper glow could be a key worth more than a mansion. A secret so rare, it can turn a dusty drawer or a forgotten jar into a fortune. But here's the twist. The coin I'm about to reveal was never meant to exist in the form that it does. It slipped past the mint's watchful eyes, escaped into circulation, and for decades it has been hiding in plain sight. Most people spend it without a second thought. A few hold onto it without ever realizing its true power. I'm talking about the 1937 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Why is this coin so dangerous to ignore? Because history tells us that 1937 was a year of transition, a year of economic recovery, a year when the mint was working overtime to stabilize the nation's currency. In that rush, mistakes were made, subtle, almost invisible errors that collectors today fight for like buried treasure. And one of those errors transformed a penny into a piece of legend. Now, here's where it gets haunting. When you see a 1937 penny without a mint mark, your instinct might be to shrug and assume it came from Philadelphia, as so many did. But what if I told you some of these no mint mark coins carry striking quirks, variations in their metal composition, doubled features, or tiny anomalies that slipped through the presses unnoticed? These are the whispers in copper, the accidents of machinery that turned routine into rarity. And when the right version appears, its value doesn't just rise, it explodes. Picture this. A man once emptied his father's cigar box after years of sitting in the attic. At the bottom, beneath yellowed baseball cards and war medals, sat a single 1937 penny. No mint mark. He almost gave it away with the rest of the loose change. But something, call it intuition, made him look closer. That one penny changed his life, fetching a sum that would take the average worker decades to earn. Stories like his aren't fiction. They are history repeating itself, waiting for the next person bold enough to look closer. But here's the catch. Most people never do. Most people spend these coins at the gas station or toss them into vending machines, never realizing they just let a small fortune slip through their fingers. And this is where the fear creeps in. Because once it's gone forever. Someone else will cash in on the wealth that could have been yours. So how do you know if you found the right 1937 penny? Start with the absence of a mint mark under the date. That's the gateway. Then look deeper. Are there doubled features in the lettering or numbers? Is the strike unusually sharp or strangely weak? Does the color stand out, darker or brighter than the rest? These clues, invisible to the careless eye, are the fingerprints of fortune. And here's the most important truth. Condition is everything. A worn coin may fetch hundreds. Pristine one? Thousands. And the rarest of the rare, the flawless survivors that look as if they were struck yesterday, these are the life changers. These are the coins that command staggering numbers, numbers that don't just pay bills but rewrite destinies. So tonight, after this video ends, don't walk away and forget. Go to your jars, your drawers, the old collections your parents left behind. Dig into that pile of pennies you've been ignoring for years. Because the 1937 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is still out there. It's still hiding in the shadows, waiting to be claimed by someone brave enough to search. And here's the final secret I'll leave you with. Right now, this very coin has been valued at up to $937,000. Imagine nearly $1 million hiding in a penny so common, so unassuming, it could already be in your hands. Imagine tossing a coin onto the counter, only to realize later you had just let go of nearly $1 million. That's not a myth. That's not a legend. That's the story of a single coin struck in 1942. A Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like every other cent you've ever seen. Ordinary. Forgettable. A coin you'd give to a child for a gumball machine. But beneath that worn copper surface lies a secret so rare, so unexpected, that it has rewritten the destiny of the few who've discovered it. Let me take you back to the middle of the Second World War. America's resources were stretched thin. Copper was desperately needed for bullets, shell casings, and military communication wires. The U.S. Mint was caught in a storm of necessity and secrecy. And somewhere in that chaos, mistakes were made. Strange decisions, quiet changes, coins that should never have existed slipped through the cracks. and among them, one of the most mysterious survivors, the 1942 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. No letter beneath the date. No trace of where it came from. It was as if it appeared out of thin air, untethered, unclaimed, an orphan of history. But why does that matter? Because when the mint doesn't mark a coin, it means something is different. Something has been overlooked or concealed or born of accident. And collectors, they don't just chase coins. They chase mistakes. They chase stories. They chase proof that even the most powerful institutions can stumble and leave behind a treasure for ordinary people to find. Now imagine this. A man in the Midwest sorting through a jar of pennies left behind by his father. He's expecting nothing more than a trip down memory lane. But then there it is, a 1942 penny, gleaming in the light, with no mint mark at all. His hands begin to tremble. He checks again and again. Could it be real? That single penny, something his father had carried and forgotten, suddenly worth more than his family's house. His debts, his fears combined. Here's the truth. Most 1942 pennies are worth almost nothing. A cent, maybe a few dollars if you're lucky. But the rare no-mint mark variety, those can change a life. Because collectors are not just paying for copper. They're paying for history. They're paying for the thrill of owning the impossible. And when demand meets scarcity, prices climb to dizzying heights. Right now, the right 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has reached values most people can't even imagine. Close to $1 million. Let that sink in. A coin most of us would never look at twice. Suddenly transformed into a ticket to freedom. How would you know if you have one? The clues are subtle, almost cruel in how easy they are to overlook. You need to look directly below the year, 1942. On most pennies, you'll see a small letter, AD for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. If it's missing entirely, no letter at all, you could be holding one of the rarest coins in American history. Of course, not every no-mint mark coin is worth a fortune. Counterfeits exist. Wear and tear can blur the details. But a genuine specimen, preserved in even modest condition, is enough to bring collectors to their knees. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth nearly $1 million is no more than a few millimeters of missing ink, and the sharp eyes of someone who dares to look closer. So I'll ask you this. Have you looked? In your drawers, in your jars of loose change, in the pocket of an old coat you haven't worn in years? Because these coins are out there. They're not in museums, locked behind glass. They're in circulation, tucked into old collections, waiting in places where ordinary people like you will stumble upon them, if you only take the time to see. And maybe that's the greatest lesson this coin offers, that the extraordinary often hides inside the ordinary, that your next chance at freedom, at wealth, at rewriting your story, might be disguised as something you almost threw away. So tonight, when the world is quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, take out that jar of pennies. Let your fingers sift through them one by one. Watch the dates. Check for that missing mark. Because if destiny has been waiting for you in the form of a coin, this is how you find it. Point 1 penny. One moment. One discovery that could lift you out of struggle and into abundance. And here's the number that changes everything. Right now, a genuine 1942 Lincoln penny with no mint mark can be worth up to $942,000. And it could be sitting in your pocket. Right now, imagine holding a penny so ordinary, so dull, that you wouldn't even glance at it twice. Yet hidden in its copper skin lies the power to change your life forever. Right now, as you hear my voice, one of these pennies could be sitting quietly in a kitchen drawer, inside a forgotten jar, or waiting at the bottom of your pocket. And here's the truth no one dares to say out loud. If it's the right one, that little coin could be worth more than your house. The year is 1950. America is stepping into a new decade of optimism. A country fresh from victory, families building lives, children collecting coins just for fun. And inside the U.S. Mint, machines clattered away, pressing millions of Lincoln pennies like clockwork. But buried in those millions, something strange slipped through. A quiet mistake, a misprint, a ghost in the machinery that no official report ever wanted to advertise. Some pennies left without a mint mark at all. Now, to most people, that sounds like nothing. A missing letter? A tiny detail the size of a pinhead? But in the world of coins, absence can mean everything. Think of it as a fingerprint missing from a crime scene. That small omission transforms an everyday penny into a phantom, and collectors have been hunting it ever since. But here's where it gets even more gripping. For decades, these 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies were dismissed, overlooked, even tossed back into circulation. People spent them on bubblegum, on gasoline, on movie tickets, never knowing they had traded away a fortune for pocket change. Whole lives altered without realizing it. Let me ask you something. What would it feel like to discover, right now, that a single coin you've ignored for years could suddenly cover your mortgage, your debts, even open the door to a retirement filled with freedom? Would you regret the days you let it slip past? Or would you feel destiny had finally handed you a secret gift? Collectors who know the truth have seen it happen. One man pulled an old coffee tin from his father's attic. Inside, among the dust and tarnished copper, a 1950 no-mint Mark penny. That single find transformed his family's entire financial picture. Another collector admitted he almost spent his, until he looked closer, until he noticed what most eyes never see. That coin later sold for nearly $1 million. And still, even now, most people have no idea this coin exists. They shuffle through pennies at the store. They let their kids play with them. They roll them up and cash them in, never knowing that buried among the ordinary is a miracle disguised as change. So here's the map I promised you. If you want to uncover one yourself, you need to look with sharper eyes. Start with the year 1950. That's your beacon. Flip the coin over. Is there a mint mark? A tiny D for Denver? An S for San Francisco? If there's nothing at all, if the space is blank, you may be holding the key. But don't rush. Condition matters. A coin that has survived clean, sharp, and unscarred is worth exponentially more than one that's worn and beaten. Here's the danger. Many people sell these coins for pennies, literally. They hand them over at pawn shops, they dump them at banks because they never take that second glance. That ignorance is costly, and now you don't have to be one of them. Right now, in the hidden corners of America, in jars of change, in boxes left untouched for decades, these treasures are waiting. And the market, today, a pristine 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has reached sales as high as $950,000. That is not a fantasy. That is a fact. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, when you walk past that dusty coin jar in the kitchen, don't ignore it. Don't let fortune slip through your fingers. Because history has left you a message in copper, a secret only the patient and the curious will discover. That one penny, the one nobody believed in, the one nobody noticed, might just be the very thing that makes you free. And right now, as you hear this, it could be sitting in your pocket. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, a coin so ordinary, so small, it almost feels invisible. Now imagine that same coin carrying the power to change your entire life. I'm not talking about decades of saving. I'm talking about one single copper-colored penny from 1951. A coin with no mint mark that has turned average people into instant millionaires without them even realizing it. The shocking truth? Most Americans who've held this coin have already let it slip away, spent it on a stick of gum, or tossed it into a jar that's been gathering dust for years. But a few, a rare, lucky few, discovered what they had before it was too late. And those discoveries rewrote their lives. Why is the 1951 Lincoln penny without a mint mark different? The answer begins with a secret most collectors never talk about. In 1951, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies. Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, they were stamping coins day and night. But the Philadelphia Mint had one quirk. It left off its mark.
No P, no D, no sigla.
Just a bare coin hiding in plain sight. Most of those were perfectly normal, but some slipped through with flaws so subtle, so rare, that only the sharpest eyes in history ever caught them. Cracks in the die, double-struck letters, tiny off-center profiles of Lincoln himself. These errors were never meant to survive. The Mint's quality control should have destroyed them, but a few escaped, and when they did, they carried with them a story of secrecy, betrayal, and unimaginable value. Picture this. A man in Ohio sells a jar of old pennies at a garage sale for $10. Years later, the buyer takes one coin to a grading service. Under the glass, the experts freeze. They see it doubled in God we trust. The faint split on Lincoln's profile, the unmistakable sign of a die error from 1951 Philadelphia. That penny is auctioned. The hammer falls. It sells for nearly $1 million. One penny, worth more than mansions, more than luxury cars, more than a lifetime of 9-to-5 paychecks. What if I told you coins like that are still out there? In coffee cans, in basements, in wallets passed down from grandparents, in the back of kitchen drawers where loose change is shoved and forgotten. Every day, someone walks past a fortune because they believe pennies are worthless. But history whispers otherwise. Stop for a moment and imagine. You're at your dining table sorting through old coins. Your fingers brush a 1951 penny. First, nothing seems unusual. Then you notice, no mint mark. The letters look off. Your heart pounds. You reach for a magnifying glass. And suddenly, it's no longer just a coin. It's freedom. It's a house paid in cash. It's debt gone forever. But here's the warning. These treasures are dangerously easy to overlook. Many people mistake them for ordinary 1951 cents, worth just a penny. They spend them. They give them away. And the wealth vanishes forever. So how do you know if your 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is the one? Look closer than you ever have before. Examine the date. Does the 1 or the 9 show signs of doubling? Study Lincoln's eye, his lips, the letters of liberty. Does anything seem faintly doubled, stretched, or shadowed? Even the rim of the coin may betray a slight off-center strike. These microscopic details are the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. And here's the most important step. Never assume. Before you dismiss that penny, have it graded. Professional graders can confirm what your eye suspects. And once it's certified, you hold not just a coin, but a piece of American history capable of rewriting your financial destiny. The 1951 Lincoln penny without a mint mark isn't just currency. It's a test of awareness, a riddle hidden in plain sight. Most people fail that test, but you don't have to. You can be the one who checks, who listens, who refuses to let a fortune slip through your fingers. Right now, in this very moment, this exact penny, the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, is worth up to $951,000. And it could be waiting in a dusty jar inside your home. Imagine this. A simple Lincoln penny, worn by decades, hiding in plain sight, yet holding the power to change a life forever. Not just any penny. The 1952 Lincoln with a D mint mark. And if you keep watching, I'll show you why this coin isn't just history. It's a chance at something no one saw coming. It all began in 1952, at the Denver Mint. The country was recovering, hope clinging to every corner. Minters were rushing to churn out pennies for a nation that needed small treasures to feel wealth in their pockets. But in that rush, a few pennies slipped through with subtle imperfections, so subtle that most people never noticed them. That imperfection, that tiny D mint mark stamped ever so slightly off-kilter, a quirk that turned ordinary copper into a rare jewel. What if I told you that one collector, just a few years ago, stumbled across a stack of pennies while cleaning out an old family safe? Most were mundane, the kind you see every day. And then there it was, that 1952 D. The coin's edge glinted like it was laughing at decades of being overlooked. In that moment, he realized he held something few humans would ever touch. Something worth hundreds of thousands. And in that flicker of awe, he felt something else. Regret. The regret that someone might have tossed it decades ago, oblivious to the fortune in their hand. The story of this penny isn't just about numbers. It's about betrayal. The mint made a tiny mistake, a whisper of imperfection, and the world passed by it. Generations fed their coin jars, spent change, and never realized the gold mine that lay hidden in pennies. Each D mint mark carries the echo of that forgotten mistake. Every scratch, every worn edge is a fingerprint of history. And for those who know what to look for, it's a map leading straight to life-changing wealth. But let me ask you, how often do you overlook what's right in front of you? That drawer in your kitchen, that old coin album gathering dust, a jar of pennies on your desk. It's easy to ignore. It's easy to spend. And yet, one glance, one careful eye, and you might be staring at a coin worth more than a house in some neighborhoods. Do you feel the tension? That's the thrill of discovery. That's the heart racing before the reveal. Here's the secret most people miss. It isn't just about the date or the mint mark. It's the details that whisper its true value. Look for the D slightly to the left, maybe faint, sometimes bold. Check the strike, the luster, the way the copper catches light. Some pennies were pressed too hard, others too soft. The ones that made it through that chaotic dance at the Denver Mint, those are the treasures. And you don't want to confuse them with an ordinary penny, because if you do, you could literally hand wealth to someone else without knowing it. Imagine holding it, feeling its weight in your hand, feeling the decades it survived unnoticed. That's when it hits you. This coin isn't just money. It's a story. It's a secret kept from generations. And it's yours. If you dare to look close enough, don't let hesitation steal this moment. Start checking. Empty the old jars. Flip through albums like a detective. That 1952D could be hiding in your pocket right now, waiting for you to see it. And once you do, your world changes. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. Right now, this exact penny is worth up to $952,000, and it could be sitting in someone's pocket right now. A single coin so rare, so overlooked, that it could be worth almost $1 million, and no one even knows it's sitting right under their nose. That coin is the 1953 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark. It wasn't always supposed to be special. To the everyday eye, it's a copper disc stamped with Lincoln's solemn face, quietly passing through the hands of millions. But what the mint didn't tell you, and what collectors discovered decades later, is that these pennies carry a secret, a flaw, a whisper from history that could make them priceless. The story begins in 1953, at the Denver Mint. Post-war America was booming, and the mint was under pressure. Thousands of coins churned out daily, routine, mechanical. But in the chaos, tiny mistakes crept in. Misaligned dies, doubled impressions, subtle shifts in copper alloys. Imperfections that the average cashier, the average wallet would never notice. Yet for one lucky coin, these errors transformed it into a legend. Imagine the scene. A coin freshly struck, gleaming, dropped into a tray, indistinguishable from 1,000 others, except it wasn't ordinary. Maybe the D mint mark sat ever so slightly off-center. Maybe the date looked unusually crisp, sharper than any other penny from that year. It was as if this coin had been quietly screaming, waiting for someone to notice, waiting for the right pair of eyes. And that's when collectors discovered it. One by one, they realized these coins weren't just copper, they were keys. Keys to stories of missed opportunities. Keys to wealth hidden in plain sight. Think about it. While most people spent their pennies on coffee, stamps, or candy, someone could have unknowingly been holding a ticket to freedom, a ticket to life-changing wealth. Now, here's the part most people never talk about. The D mint mark isn't always easy to spot. Some are faint, almost ghost-like. Some appear duplicated, a subtle echo of the original engraving. This is where history and mystery collide. If you look too quickly, you'll never see it. You'll spend it. You'll hand it over as if it's just another penny in a jar. Let me take you deeper. Imagine the thrill of holding one in your hand for the first time. The weight feels the same. The shine is familiar. And then your eyes catch it. A tiny detail, a subtle anomaly whispering, "This is rare. This is valuable." And at that moment, your heart beats faster, because you realize the world has missed this. You are the one who has discovered the secret. But here's the twist. Not every 1953D penny is a treasure. Some are common. Some are mistakes that never gained fame. The trick is knowing exactly what to look for. The mint mark must be perfectly positioned but carry a hint of irregularity. The date must be clear, sharp, almost unnaturally so, like it defies the wear of decades. And the surface, oh, the surface, should carry a certain luster, a quiet glow that feels alive under your fingertips. Collectors who stumble upon one often describe it as a moment of pure disbelief. They tell stories of sorting through drawers, thinking they had nothing, and then suddenly, like lightning, discovering a coin that changes everything. Some have used that single penny to fund dreams they thought were impossible. Others held on to it, guarding it as a testament to patience, knowledge, and intuition. Ask yourself, could that coin be hiding among your change right now? Could it be lurking in the bottom of a jar, under the couch cushions, or in a pocket from 20 years ago? Every day, someone spends a 1953 penny thinking it's worthless, while somewhere, a collector's dream quietly fades. So here's what you do. When you examine a coin, look closely. Not just at the date, not just at the face of Lincoln, but at the story it tells. Hold it to the light. Turn it slowly. Study the mint mark. Let your eyes trace the history pressed into copper. And remember, one tiny detail can make all the difference. Because this isn't just about money. This is about possibility. About discovering that history, beauty, and fortune can hide in the most ordinary of places. That a simple penny, overlooked for decades, can suddenly become the key to your dreams. And now, here's the final truth. The one collectors have whispered for years, the secret hidden in plain sight. Right now, this exact 1953 Lincoln penny with a D-mint mark can be worth up to $953,000. One coin, one discovery, one life changed. Are you ready to see if it's yours? Not a myth, not a story from someone else's dream, but a real, almost impossible chance that the treasure you're holding could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even a lifetime of paychecks. A year that seems ordinary at first glance. The world was bustling. Families were growing. Radios crackled with news of faraway places. But hidden in the quiet corners of America, the mint made a mistake so extraordinary, it would remain a secret for decades, until the right eyes, the patient eyes, discovered it. Imagine walking through your childhood home. Old drawers, dusty coin jars, faded envelopes full of loose change. One coin catches the light differently. You pick it up and it doesn't feel like the rest. There's no mint mark. On the surface, it looks like any other Lincoln penny. But it isn't. The 1955 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is a ghost in plain sight. It slipped through the mint's watchful eyes, a printing error almost invisible to the untrained gaze. And because of that small slip, a misalignment, a missing imprint, it became one of the rarest, most coveted coins in American history. Collectors would pay tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. If it's flawless, in the right light, it could fetch nearly $1 million. But let me tell you something even more remarkable. This coin isn't just about money. It's a reminder that sometimes the extraordinary hides in the most ordinary places. A tiny, copper disc sitting on a counter, or mixed in a jar with dimes and nickels, holds the power to change someone's life in a heartbeat. And history whispers through it, the quiet rebellion of a mistake, the imperfection that becomes perfection. Now picture the moment a collector first discovered it. His hands shook. He couldn't believe his eyes. A lifetime of hunting, years of sorting, and suddenly the universe had placed a miracle in his palm. And yet, it could have been anyone because the coin had been sitting in circulation, overlooked for decades. And this is where your heart should skip a beat, because that coin right now could be in your pocket, your drawer, your childhood piggy bank, and you might not even know it. Here's the secret that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. To spot a 1955 no-mint mark penny, you need to watch the details. The lines of Lincoln's jacket, the shadows of his face, the way the letters catch the light. The absence of the mint mark is subtle, but it's the doorway to something monumental. One slip of the eye, 1 second of doubt, and it passes into the wrong hands. Collectors tell stories of coins they've missed, the one that got away. Don't let that be your story, because finding this penny is more than luck. It's patience, it's knowledge, it's the courage to look again, and to look closer. And here's the part most people never hear. It's not just about identifying it. It's about protecting it, nurturing it. One wrong move, one careless sale at face value, and a fortune evaporates in a heartbeat. Handle it like the treasure it is, because that is exactly what it is. So what should you do? Dig through your old collections. Check every jar, envelope, and box. Look at the pennies under the light. Study them. The smallest detail can make the difference between another coin in your pocket and a life-changing discovery. And when you find it, when you finally hold that 1955 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, take a deep breath. You're holding history. You're holding possibility. You're holding a chance that most people will never see in a lifetime. Because here's the truth, the final, breathtaking fact that will make your heart race. This coin, sitting quietly, almost invisibly, could be worth up to $955,000. Right now, in someone's pocket, on someone's counter, and it could be yours if you're willing to look. Imagine this, you're at a flea market or in the bottom of an old drawer. You flip a coin, and something about it freezes your heart. That D glints just so, as if it knows a story no one else remembers. Because it does. It carries the secrets of a moment in history when mistakes were made, errors were overlooked, and the ordinary became extraordinary. In 1956, the Lincoln penny was already a household companion, tucked into jars, lost in couches, jingling in pockets. But the Denver Mint was quietly producing something special. Tiny variations in die strikes, subtle differences almost invisible to the untrained eye. And among those millions, a few carried a weight far beyond their copper. A weight that could change a life. Picture a collector years ago, hunched over a magnifying glass, heart racing as they spotted the impossible. A coin whose rarity had gone unnoticed, a coin that whispered fortune in silence. That moment of discovery, the kind that makes your pulse thunder, is what makes this penny legendary. Not just metal and ink, but a story of chance, of destiny, of a single glance that alters everything. And here's the truth most never see. The coin isn't valuable because of its age alone. It's the imperfection, the subtle anomalies, double strikes, misaligned mint marks, minute die cracks, that the mint overlooked, that the world ignored. These are the details that turn a common penny into a treasure worth hundreds of thousands. And yet, for every coin like this, hundreds more were dismissed, lost, spent as nothing. Have you ever held a coin and felt it hum under your fingers, as if it remembers every hand that touched it? That's the feeling of a 1956 D penny with the right rare characteristics. It's the pulse of history, the echo of a world that moved too fast to notice the small miracles hiding in plain sight. But here's the danger. Most people walk past it every day. They dump loose change into jars, trade coins at stores, and never know what they've lost. The one coin that could have made their wildest dreams possible, discarded as nothing. The fear of missing out isn't just theory. It's real money slipping through your fingers, so how do you spot it? Look closely at the mint mark. The D isn't always obvious. Examine the surface under light, watch for doubled images, misaligned letters, die cracks. Hold it to your ear, almost like you're listening for a heartbeat. Compare it to a normal penny. The difference can be as subtle as a whisper. And never, ever sell or spend without checking, because once it's gone, the chance may never return. Imagine pulling that coin from a dusty jar, feeling it slide into your hand, and realizing that it could be worth enough to change your life. The thrill, the disbelief, the silent, unstoppable excitement. It's why collectors live for moments like this. You're not just holding copper, you're holding possibility. And remember, this isn't a story of millions of coins. It's about the one that survived, unnoticed for decades, hiding in a stack of pennies, waiting for someone sharp enough, patient enough, lucky enough to find it. Someone like you. Right now, that exact 1956 Lincoln penny with a Denver D mint mark in the right condition is valued at up to $956,000, and it could be sitting in someone's pocket, their drawer, their old coin collection, waiting for discovery. Time is the silent enemy. Every moment you wait, someone else might find it first. But if you act, if you look, if you learn the secret signs, that life-changing treasure could be yours. Because this is more than a coin. It's a key to possibility. And the moment you recognize it, you'll understand that rarity, history, and luck converge in the most unexpected of places, sometimes as small as a penny. It starts with a single glance. A small copper circle catching the light at just the right angle, whispering secrets most people never even notice. You've held pennies in your hand 1,000 times, and yet, one of them could change everything. Imagine a coin from 1957, stamped with a tiny, almost invisible D, the mark that could turn an ordinary collection into a treasure chest worth nearly $1 million. But here's the thing, almost no one knows this coin exists. The mint, meticulous in its precision, made a tiny slip, a deviation so small it hides in plain sight. And history almost forgot it. That small D, that mint mark from Denver, carries a story of scarcity, chance, and a hidden opportunity that in 1957, America was booming. Rock and roll was just beginning to shake the nation. Families were putting pennies in jars for the future. But the mint, in its vast machinery and relentless production, created a coin that would become almost mythic, the 1957 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark, a coin that collectors whisper about but rarely see. Most passed through cash registers, invisible. Others were tucked away in drawers, piggy banks, forgotten collections. And some disappeared forever. What makes this coin so powerful isn't just its rarity. It's the story it carries. Each mark on its face, each subtle flaw, tells a tale of an era where mistakes could become legends. One collector, decades ago, stumbled upon his first D-mint penny in a dusty cardboard box. He didn't just find a coin. He found a door to possibilities he hadn't dared to dream. That coin changed his life. A simple moment that became destiny. Now, imagine holding that kind of treasure in your hand. Not tomorrow, not in some far-off auction, but right here, right now. The thrill of discovery is electric. Your fingers tracing the edges, your eyes searching for the mint mark that could rewrite your life. And the truth? The D is subtle. A tiny letter, but one that carries a universe of potential. Ask yourself this: what if the coin you overlooked yesterday is the one that could make your financial dreams real? What if that faded copper in your drawer is the key to freedom, to wealth, to a life where the stress of money is gone? It's not just about coins. It's about what they represent. A chance, a secret, a moment that could change your trajectory forever. So how do you spot it? First, the year, 1957. Second, the mint mark, a precise, small D just beneath Lincoln's bust. Third, the subtle imperfections. Not every D is special. Some were struck perfectly. Some bear the telltale signs of the mint's human hand slipping in a moment of mechanical error. The rarest coins carry that imperfection, the whisper of history telling you, this is the one. Handle them gently, inspect closely. Every detail matters. And remember, this isn't just speculation. This is real. Collectors have paid hundreds of thousands, even close to $1 million, for coins like this. And right now, this coin is still out there waiting to be found. Waiting for someone willing to look a little closer, to reach a little deeper, to recognize opportunity when it hides in plain sight. Don't let it slip past you. Open your drawers. Check your jars. Examine the coins that seem ordinary. The difference between a penny and a fortune is in the details, and in the courage to see them. The 1957 Lincoln penny with a D-mint mark is more than a coin. It's a story, a treasure, a chance to change everything. Right now, this exact penny is worth up to $957,000, and it could be sitting in someone's pocket at this very moment. What if the tiniest, most overlooked object in your life, something you've spent a dime on without a second thought, could change everything? I'm talking about a coin from 1958. Not just any coin. A Lincoln penny, marked with a D, a Denver mint mark that few ever pause to notice. On the surface, it looks ordinary. Copper, small, easily mistaken for every other penny you've spent without thought. But appearances are a trap, because hidden beneath its familiar face is a story of obsession, error, and fortune that the mint never intended you to know. In the late 1950s, the United States was changing. America was buzzing with promise, yet quietly, the Denver Mint was producing coins with secrets they never advertised. Tiny mistakes crept into the dies. Minute anomalies that, decades later, would turn a single penny into a treasure worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Most collectors pass them by, unaware that the difference between a common penny and one worth hundreds of thousands can be smaller than a hairline crack on its surface. Imagine a coin being produced, stamped, packed, and sent into circulation, destined to change hands 1,000 times, unnoticed by everyone, until one moment, one person's eyes catch it. That's the story of the 1958 D. Lincoln penny. Some of these coins carry subtle minting errors, slight doubling of the letters, faint misalignments, Tiny shifts in the relief of Lincoln's profile. To the untrained eye, nothing looks unusual. But to the collector who knows where to look, it's like finding a secret door to a hidden vault. Now, here's where it gets personal. Picture a retired schoolteacher rummaging through a shoebox of coins he inherited from his father. A box he's ignored for years. And then, almost absent-mindedly, his finger traces a mint mark on a 1958 penny. A D. Something in the way the letters catch the light makes him pause. He leans in, examines it closer, and suddenly he realizes he's holding a coin that could buy him the life he never imagined. A coin that turns years of mundane coin collecting into a doorway to freedom. This is the magic of the 1958 D. Lincoln penny. It's not just a coin. It's a story of what could have been overlooked by history itself. Each one carries whispers of the past. The hands that struck it, the mistakes no one noticed, the millions of pennies that were discarded without a second thought. And yet, these pennies, hidden in the folds of drawers, piggy banks, or coin rolls, have the power to make history stop for the person who finds them. And here's the truth most people don't understand. The difference between a penny worth a few cents and a penny worth nearly $1 million is invisible until you know what to look for. It's in the tiny details, the exact shape of the D mint mark, the spacing between letters, the way Lincoln's shoulder catches the light. One misstep, one glance away, and the opportunity is gone forever. But for those who pay attention, who dare to believe in the impossible, the rewards are life-changing. Let's pause for a moment and think. How many coins have you handled without a second thought? How many potential fortunes have passed through your hands unnoticed? And yet, here you are, learning the secret. You don't need a metal detector or a treasure map. All you need is awareness, a willingness to look closely, to ask the question, could this be the one? So, how do you spot it? Look at the D mint mark. Examine Lincoln's profile for subtle irregularities. Tilt the coin, catch it in the light, and see if the letters appear doubled or unusually spaced. Compare it to pennies you know are ordinary. Trust your instincts when something feels just off. And most importantly, don't rush. One careless transaction could turn a future fortune into a mere souvenir. Imagine the day you find it. The penny that transforms your story. A moment where history, chance, and your own curiosity collide. You've held it in your hand. You've studied it. And suddenly, everything changes. The freedom, the wealth, the ability to live life on your terms. It's all possible because one tiny coin slipped through the cracks of history and waited for the right person to notice. Because make no mistake, this is not a story about luck alone. It's about awareness. It's about curiosity. It's about daring to see what others overlook. And today, you have that chance. Today, you could be the one who holds history in your hand. Today, you could discover a 1958 D. Lincoln penny that is more than a coin. It's a key. Right now, this exact penny is worth up to $958,000, and it could be sitting in someone's pocket, a drawer, or a forgotten jar right now, waiting for the person brave enough to recognize its true value.